Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Dance with Dragons, chapters 7, 8, and 9. Jon, Tyrion, and Davos. In these chapters, Janos Slynt learns to his detriment that YOLO, get it? Like, you only live once, but also like Tyrion's secret name.
Yes, explaining it makes it so much funnier.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Okay, let me start off by pointing out all the flaws with my previous statement. Tyrion's fake name is spelled with 2 L's, so it doesn't really make sense. Also, nobody says YOLO anymore. I don't even know if anybody's gonna understand that. I don't even know if anybody ever said YOLO. I feel like it's one of those things we hear that like millennials used to say in the 90s, but we weren't around, so I don't know if it's like actually a thing.
No, kids definitely said YOLO when I was in school.
Did we say YOLO?
It was
kids?
always
Okay.
it was always like boys, like very
really?
like athlete, like sweaty, like very stereotypical.
The kid that's this kid that says YOLO before they jump off the roof.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Like it was very like boy TM core was
Okay.
YOLO. Like,
Yeah, I don't really remember that, but also the main problem with this statement is that in the world of Ice and Fire, you do live more than once. So like,
okay,
we literally have zombies. We have like got like Beric Dondarrion living like 10
that's
different
so
lives.
funny. No, that is so funny. And also, even on top of that, like sometimes you think they die and they ain't dead. Like, you know,
Right,
like all the
exactly.
Brands and the Rickons of the world and the Aryas and the, like,
Yeah, true that.
it's so funny because, like, before starting the series, I remember, you know this, one of the only things I knew about it was that everyone dies, apparently, like, whatever, there's a lot of deaths, right? But people failed to mention, which I guess I'm glad about, that most of those people don't actually die.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of death. And, like,
Yes.
that's a theme, and, like, a lot of things are based around that. But that doesn't mean that a lot of people die, or even that a lot of the main characters die. Like, sure, it's more than other series, but it's kind of false advertising.
Yeah, it's true. Like, a lot of people died in Storm. Like, you know, we got the Robs and the Catelyn's and the Tywins and, like, lots happening. Like, big impact deaths. But, like, did anybody majorly die in Feast? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess
Storm is also very defining. Like, it has so many defining moments that, like,
yes.
when people are looking back, they're like, oh yeah, that series
like,
where so
you're
many
not
people
gonna
died.
forget the Red Wedding. You're not gonna forget Tyrion killing Tywin. Like, it's... Yeah. Oh, Joffrey. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Sorry. So, speaking of all the death, who died in these chapters?
Janos McSlinty.
Okay, why Muck?
Just for fun. Well, he is Muck, first of all. And second of all, just adding some pizzazz to his boring ass name and boring ass person. Okay, wait, who else died? Sorry, I was trying so hard to be silly that I forgot what I was doing. Hold on.
Tyrion. Jon killed the boy.
Jon, like Janos?
No, killed the boy, Jon Snow. Kill the boy.
Oh,
the thing
yes,
he
yes.
keeps thinking about.
Oh, yeah, kill the boy. Yes, yes. And then I don't think anyone died in Tyrion's chapter. And then who? Oh, Davos. No one died in Davos' chapter. He's very behind, so he's catching up
Except for,
on...
like, all the ships that wrecked.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's not like a person who died.
Okay, so he learns about a lot of people dying.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Okay, I think that does cover it. Do you want... Okay, first off, thoughts and feelings about these chapters.
Okay, I had a good time. I will say, I kept falling asleep during John's chapter, and that's not because John's chapter was boring. It's because I was really tired, and I had the fan on full blast, and I got this... Okay, one of my friends moved away, and she gave me this, like, amazing pillow, and, like, it's basically, like, perfect for reading, because it's like a sitting pillow, like, it just kind of cushions you, and, like, it has things around it.
Oh,
like
I know
arms,
exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
And so I had that, and I had the fan, and literally I fell asleep, like, maybe 10 times during John's chapter, and I had to keep keeping myself awake. But then the other chapters were so quick and breezy, so those woke me up, and it was good. But John's, I had a good time, and, like, obviously... Who doesn't love a good, extended, depressing John chapter? But I just kept falling asleep, bro. Like, I read that conversation with Gilly, like, 10 times. It was too much. But it was...
Alright.
It was, yeah. Anyway, Tyrion's was...
See, I was expecting the opposite, because a lot of John's chapter is a recap of Sam's first chapter from Feast.
That, I think, also was making me fall asleep.
Okay.
Because, like, I think, because there just was, like, at least in the first half, there was kind of a lack of anything new going on. And then after he said goodbye to everyone, then it kind of got interesting, and maybe that's when I woke up. I don't know. But yeah, that might have been contributing to the falling asleep for sure. But yeah, it was good, but, like, I just wouldn't... Okay, because here's my thing. If John becomes, like, the new Ned of this book, like, you know how Ned was, like, in book 1? In terms of, like, how often... Because I feel like Ned had the most chapters, and he was, like, every back-to-back, you know, going on.
Right, that does make sense, yeah.
So then, if that happens, this is fine. But I'm just kind of like, let's not waste... his limited, super long chapters on this. Maybe it was like, I think George R. Martin just wanted to do all the recap that we knew of in one and, like, get it out of the way, maybe.
But also get, like, John's perspective on the thing.
Yeah, and, like, that makes sense. But it just is one of those things where, like, these things happened a book ago. Like, I'm having a hard time feeling as invested as I would, like, otherwise, you know?
All right.
But,
okay,
like,
and the other chapters were good.
Okay, Tyrion's was good. I had a good time. Who was... Oh, Davos. I keep forgetting about Davos.
Can't believe you forgot my man Davos.
No. And Davos's was good too, but once again, he just was learning things that we already knew, so it was kind of hard to go on that journey with him. But, like, it was nice to see him again. And I enjoyed the other guy. He was interesting.
Oh, like
the Lord guy?
The Lord, yes. Whose name will come to me at some point, but doesn't matter right now. Yeah. Okay, cool. Give us a quick summary then.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, John.
Okay, John, night before sending Gilly Sam off with Aemon, he's letting them know. Aemon's making him send a paper shield to, you know, kind of pledge to Joffrey, like, hey, we're not supporting Stannis. He doesn't want to do it. He sends them off. Oh, and then he murders, he kills Janos, because Janos refuses to go, build
in charge of Greyguard.
Yeah, like go be in charge. Yeah, and then
oh wait, that was way over. Yeah, keep going.
Okay,
switch.
And then Tyrion. Okay, we meet Griff. We meet young Griff. Tyrion meets them. Illyrio's gone. He's like, keep your mouth shut and prove yourself useful, or else we're kicking you off. We'll take you to Volantis if you do all these things. Tyrion's like, aha, you're a lord. Aha, you're a knight. So Tyrion's onto something. Literally what else happened? I don't think anything else happens.
Just switch to Davos then.
Okay, Davos meets the Lord guy, the sisters, over by the little cove. Salladhor Saan left him because he's like, y'all ain't paying me. I'm done. Bye. I'll leave you off because you're my friend. And now he's gonna go. We learn about there's more Jon parentage lore. And Davos,
okay,
the guy's like, I don't know who's gonna win, so I'll let you go, basically.
Way to ramble.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jon, this is the chapter that I thought was Jon's first chapter. You can kind of get why, because it was Sam's first chapter last book,
Right, yeah.
But so he's Mace Raymon's written him that letter that's like, oh, look, Stannis is here helping us, but we're not his people, I promise. And that's the letter he sends to King's Landing, yada, yada, yada. And he's doing the whole, I don't want to sign it, but I gotta sign it. Yeah. And a lot of the plot is what happens in Sam's first chapter in Feast. Mm-hmm. So it's, him talking to Gilly, but this time we actually see what he said, which is you gotta leave your son and take Mance's son and yada yada yada. Yeah. But he is like, there's some interesting things, like, he tells her to come in, sit down, I have something hard to tell you. He almost said ask, but caught himself in the last instant. And like in this conversation and this entire chapter, he keeps like being to himself like, kill the boy. When that first came up, what were you thinking? What did you think that meant? Because it's not explained until later. Or were you just too asleep to notice?
I was worried. I was like, is he gonna... But then I was worried, but I was confused. I was like, is he gonna kill Gilly's kid or something and pretend like he killed... Like, is he gonna offer up a pretend sacrifice or something? Like, I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried, but I definitely didn't dwell on it because I was sleeping. But I did kind of worry. Like, that was kind of my immediate thought.
Yeah. The one new thing we learn is that Val apparently is willing to marry a kneeler.
Yes.
If Mance is spared. So, like, that's... I don't think we knew that before. So,
yeah.
That adds to the intrigue with things going on between the Free Folk and Stannis and all of that.
Yeah.
But basically, Jon is like, you gotta leave your kid, and if you don't... when the other kid dies, I'll make sure yours does too. Like, he like straight up threats here.
Yeah.
I guess this is him. Yeah, this is him killing the boy.
Oh my god, literally. Yeah, and even,
figuratively.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, yeah, like, I get it. And like, Aemon was like, this is what you gotta do. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. Just a little worried, that's all. Just would like the boy,
some of the boy. Yeah.
Just want him to be careful. Like, I think I get it, but I also think it's like, okay, so his focus here is like, I gotta kill the boy, I gotta, like, be a man, I gotta, like, be this Lord Commander, and, like, be this figure that's, like I'm capable,
tough, and doesn't, feel the emotions.
I stick to my word, I do things, I give people an opportunity, but then, like, some things that gotta be done, I'm just gonna do, right? But then also, he's very, like, he knows that he's gotta let Tommen know that he's still, what's the word when you're not
I was about to say secular, but that's not the right
like,
one.
Partisan?
Independent,
Like,
nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's got to let him know that he's nonpartisan, right? And I feel like under normal circumstances, or if this, like, wasn't a Lannister, he'd be like, yeah, chillin', that makes sense. So then it's like, okay, hold on, sorry. I promise I'm getting somewhere with this. I think what I'm trying to say is that he's so focused on killing the boy and, like, doing it in a way that's like, hey, I'm gonna be tough and I'm gonna stick to my objectives and I do the hard things that no one else wants to do because they've elected me and that's what I have to do, right? But then he's not thinking about, like, okay, well, what else could killing the boy mean? And, like, you know, when you're a child, you're just, like, kind of going off of, like, your impulses and, like, I don't like this person, I don't want to pledge fealty to Tommen, I don't want to, you know, and I just feel like killing the boy also has to mean doing the things we don't want to do in that way too, like...
Well, he does end up doing
it, so... but that's what I'm saying, like, just keep an eye on it, you know?
He's not gonna kill the boy all in one go, it's gonna be a little slice at a time.
Oh, God.
Like,
now I'm imagining...
I've regretted it as soon as I said it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Slice just offers too much imagery. I can't. Yeah, but, like, anyway, yeah, like, and, like, that's fine, and he did it, and I'm proud of him, and he's slaying, but I just want him to, like, just, like, focus a bit more on, like, the emotional, like, mental bandwidth side of Kill the Boy, rather than, like, what are they gonna think if I look weak, like, side of boy, which, like, I'm saying so many words. Okay, I think that made sense. I think eventually I got to what I was trying to say. But anyway, yes, like, support you, Jon, but just be careful. Not that I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about the Slint stuff yet. I haven't really made up my mind. So maybe that's kind of influencing me too, because there's part of me that kind of feels like that he kind of just did that to get back at Slint. And that's kind of the part that I'm a little bit iffy about. Because, like...
Interesting.
You know, like, I worry that that's kind of the only thing going on. But I want to give him more credit than that. And be like, that's not the main reason he did this. But it's hard to deny that that's probably one of the reasons he did that. So, I'm just saying, be careful. That's kind of all I got to say, but, you know, he's trying to girl boss. Yeah.
All right. So.
Yes, you can
back to his and Gilly's conversation. He assures her that he will take care of her kid and raise him well and teach him to fight and read and all of the things. And that when he's all grown up, he can go find Gilly if he wants to do that. But for now, he's got to stay. And so Gilly's like, okay, fine. Like, not okay, fine, but like, she just has to.
Yeah, there was a tricky moment where he was like, burn yourself so you know what fire feels like.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's trying to demonstrate what the pain the kid might go through if she doesn't do this. But yeah, he's like really layering it on.
Yeah, I was like, were you raised by Ned or were you raised by Tywin or Aerys? Like...
Yeah, so Gilly leaves crying and Sam comes in and, you know, this is like their conversation. We've been here before. What I liked in this conversation was that there's like points where it just says like they talked for a while of Mance and Stannis, and then I went and like read that section in Feast and it was like they talked about all these things. But like this is George R. R. Martin being like, been there, done that.
Yeah,
you know
what's going on. We got to move on to other things. There was also, like, when she finds out about the, like, Val being like, okay, fine, I'll marry a kneeling man if you want me to, you know? She also is like, yeah, the Lord of Bones is being spared. And did we know about this? I feel like vaguely.
Oh, okay, you're right. We might not have heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So...
this...
that's the guy, Rattleshirt.
Yeah. So this is also Stannis... having double standards, like
because he wasn't a Night's Watch person to begin with, so he didn't betray.
The vows. Right, that was the hill. I forgot. Okay, I forgot about the specifics of
the hill that he's dying on.
Okay, got it. Well,
except the hill that he's literally pushing Jon off of.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about
Wait, sorry.
all the things that
There's
are going
also
on.
okay, this is kind of stupid, but I liked it. When there's like a so when Jon is like or because Gilly's worried that Jon's gonna tell her that they're gonna like kill Dallas Kid. She's like, oh my god, no, like you have to save him. We can't burn him, blah blah blah. And he's like, only you can do that, Gilly. And then Jon told her how. And then obviously he lays out the plan. But then there's like this whole paragraph of like another woman would have shrieked at him. Another woman might have flown at him in rage, like basically being like Gilly had a different reaction, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody to do an edit of this moment to the song Prophecy by Taylor Swift, because there's there's like a line in there that's like a lesser woman would have lost hope, a greater woman wouldn't beg, or something. It's like not something, but like I don't remember the exact wording. And I just feel like a Gilly edit to that part of the song, you guys, would be so good. Someone make that and send it to me.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, make it yourself.
I can't look anything up.
I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, sure. Somebody get on that. Back to Jon and Sam's conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so they talk about all the things that are going on at the wall. We've heard this conversation. We've talked about it in depth. So if you want to hear it, go listen to Feast for Crows coverage. What is interesting is just, how being on Jon's side, he's just so shocked at Sam's unwillingness to be a maester and all of that. And of course, we were in Sam's head and how he had literally been tortured out of wanting to be a maester. So seeing both sides of that conversation. And then there's other moments that are like, oh, Darion's gonna join you and he's gonna gather men for the wall, and just knowing what happens.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So like the hindsight factor.
Yeah.
And
he like what I was saying earlier, he says at one point, it's death and destruction I want to bring down upon House Lannister, not scorn. Because he's trying to get Sam's opinion on the letter, because he wants Sam to have a different opinion than Aemon, which he obviously doesn't. And he's like, damn it, I'd hoped Sam would have thought differently.
Yeah. Certainly. And
yeah, because he's like, oh, if Stannis can raise the North, then like, because he just really wants Stannis to win now so that the Lannisters don't win, So he's kind of putting all of his eggs in this basket emotionally.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is... yes. He commands Sam to be brave and to hide his fears and go do this. And he's like, be ready before first light. You're leaving. Don't tell anyone. So Sam goes. And then Jon's like thinking, he's like, oh my god, this is when we get the conversation with Maester Aemon. So apparently these are the final words that Maester Aemon said to him.
Oh my
well,
God.
I guess if they have a little talk later in the yard the next day. But the major piece of advice is to... Apparently it's the same advice he gave Egg when he became king.
Oh my god.
Which is to kill the boy within you. It takes a man to rule. And Aegon, not an egg, kill the boy and let the man be born. So,
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, this just makes me be like, are we ever going to get any more Duncan Egg stories? But also, are we going to get book 6 ever? But yes, all of those things. Not worth thinking about. Moving on.
Oh my god.
So Jon is like, then he goes around the yard. He's looking at what's happening. He goes up on the wall. There's this guy, Kedge, who's on watch, and he saw a couple of riders riding off down south. They call them the Wrong Way Rangers because they're going south, not north. And it's these two knights, Sir Richard Horpe and Sir Justin Massey. And they're both Queensmen, and they're respected. So Jon's like, okay, they're clearly messengers or envoys, because, if he was just sending scouts, anybody could have done that. And so, yeah, the Onion Knight is now going to White Harbor, and he's sending these people, wonder where they're going. Any idea where they're going from you?
Like yeah. I think
The Wrong Way Rangers.
the Wrong Way Rangers. Okay. I have a question.
Sure.
I have a clarifying question. So, okay. What do you mean they're going the wrong? Like, what like they're going south instead of north?
Whites.
Like,
yeah, like
okay.
the fight is in the north. Why are they going
Okay.
south, you know?
Okay, got it. I thought it was the opposite because I think I was sleeping through this. The thing I got from this was like, oh, they're southern lords, so they should be going south, but they're going north. But then I was like, why would they be upset about them going north, like, if they're helping, or at least under the guise of helping?
Right.
Okay, cool.
So now that you have that
so
corrected,
they are going south.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think they could be, like, maybe going, because you know how we've sent Davos to Manderley, so maybe they're going to other people, like, maybe to,
like any guesses for who?
Maybe, like, Deepwood Mott, or,
okay.
Because I'm just thinking, maybe they...
Why Deepwood Mott? Like, what made you go there?
Because
it's the only other place that you would remember the name of?
No. Because it was well, yes, but it also was, like, because I just feel like it was coming up a lot. Like, all the Iron people were like, we need Deepwood Mott. We need, like, everyone was like, we need Deepwood Mott. So I'm like, hey, go get Deepwood Mott.
Are you thinking of Moat Cailin?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Didn't they want
Asha
both?
did get... Yeah, they wanted all of the north. Asha took Deepwood Mott from the... forget their name right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Moat Cailin is like the gateway between the north and the south.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a super key point. Whoever controls it basically controls all of the north because, like,
yeah,
you're controlling the traffic, who can come in, come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last we heard, the Ironborn also held that.
Okay. I think, yeah, maybe he's sending them... Yeah. Where are the Umbers again? Like, where do they...
Last Hearth, I think, is their place name.
Maybe he could be going to them. Maybe to the people at Deepwood Mott. Because I just can't think of, like...
Right.
Like, who...
And, like, we know some of the Karstarks have already declared for status.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, he could be, like, gonna go solidify the alliance with Karstarks or something, but, like... But he could also just be going to, like, all the people that rejected him to kind of... Like, maybe he's sending them as, like, a... Like, he's sending them and being like, hey, try and get more people on our side, try and treat with more people. But then, like, why are they... I don't know, like, why are they... Or, wait. Wrong Way Rangers, Southern buggering off, riding the wrong way. Went them out, but never said what they were for. Yeah, I don't know. Because I just don't know where else... I guess because my thing is, like, Stannis doesn't really have anyone right now. Like, so they could kind of be going to anyone to, like, try and win them over.
All right, so one of the northern people to just win them over. All right, cool.
I think so.
That's good enough for me. We spent too long on that. We didn't need to. So John's like, okay, cool, that's what's happening. He then goes down. It's like dinner time. He has some dinner. He sleeps. Ghost is sleeping close to him, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's woken up, like, you know, at the hour of the wolf because Sam and party are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets dressed. He also leaves orders to have Bedwick, who is also known as Giant, and Janos Slint come to him at first light. Doesn't quite happen that way. But then he goes and, you know, says goodbye to everyone. We're familiar with this scene. Maester Aemon is talking about how he left him a note in the Jade Compendium.
Mm-hmm.
that'll be interesting. And because we didn't get to see what this was last time, so
Yeah.
I want to read it. And yeah, my stream is just like, knowledge is a weapon, John. Arm yourself well before you ride forth to battle. John's like, got it, cool. And he's like, okay, go on your way, be careful, but do all the things that you need to do.
Dude.
And of course, Gilly is like, you better take care of my kid or I will come haunt your ass. And I'm like, I believe you.
Oh my god, valid.
Yeah. And he's thinking about how, like, the first time he'd met Gilly, she was huddled up against a wall, afraid of Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, it's not Ghost she should have been afraid of. She should have been afraid of me, shouldn't she? So he acknowledges his cruelness.
Yeah.
And this is the moment where he says goodbye to Sam, and he's got, like, the snow that's in his hair, and he's remembering his last goodbye to Rob, never knowing that it was going to be their last time. And it's like, is this going to be our last time?
I mean, let's be so for real.
Do you think so?
As far as we know, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, no. Here's my... I don't know if it's going to be their last time, but I definitely think it's going to be their last recorded time in these books.
Okay. Fair, because we don't see Sam meeting John later.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. And then so they leave, and now it's like the sun is beginning to rise. And John's like, okay, let's go. And he's like taking in the wall, and he's like, the strength of the wall was its height. The length of the wall was its weakness, which I liked that. Because he's got all this, all these leagues to defend, but very few people to defend them.
Yeah.
And so Giant is there. The guy whose name is Bedwick, but I'm just going to call him Giant because that's what they call him.
Yeah.
And he is being put in charge of a garrison at Icemark. And Giant is like, what? Me? Like, I'm nobody. And he's like, no, you have been doing this for a long time, and you know your shit. So you're going to go, and I'm going to give you a couple of ravens for urgent messages. If you have non-urgent things, just send a rider. And he also says that he means to establish a line of beacon towers along the top of the wall for making messages easier, which is...
slaying John.
Yeah. Hope that really works out.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. And it's going to be... So he's going to be commanding 20 people from the Watch and 10 people from Stannis. Because, like, Stannis is like, I'll give you my wounded and old people, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's also sending four of the 20 from the Watch. 4 of them are the ones who came with Janos Slynt. And he doesn't trust them. So he's like, he's doing the divide and conquer. Like, you know. Put some of your haters here, over there, just keep them separated.
Oh my god. Every fucking where.
Yeah. And Giant is like, that's not a lot of people, but John's like, it's better than no people, so make the best of it. And Giant is like, you got it, boss. Like, he's very, like, this is exactly what we want this conversation to be, you know?
Yeah. He's like, okay, I got you, but okay, like... Yeah.
And Giant is like, okay, great, then so I'm gonna go do this, but who's gonna be over at Greyguard? And when John says Janos Slynt, he's like, yeah, I mean, he did rise in the ranks to the Gold Cloak, so there must be a reason he did that. Lord Janos cannot be as great a fool as he seems.
And you know what's so funny about that? I remember saying this a while ago, too. When, like, we were worried that Tywin was going to be able to appoint him, like, very easily. I was like, well, like, he's got skills, right? Like, he made it there somehow, you know? Yeah. And John's like, I need to get him away from Alizar. Like, this is too much.
Yeah, together they're going to be, cooking up some coup.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So Giant's like, okay, great. He leaves. And then half the morning passes.
Wait, before that, like, when he's still talking to the guy, he's thinking about, like, the Raymond Redbeard guy. Did we know this story?
Yeah, he thought about it back when he first climbed the wall.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember.
Yeah,
this.
it's basically Raymond Redbeard was a king beyond the wall back in the days of Jack Musgood, who was a Lord Commander.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been known as Jolly Jack, but after this, he was known as Sleepy Jack because he let Raymond's host climb over the wall and go attack Winterfell.
Oh my god.
But his host ended up, it says, met a bloody end on the shores of Long Lake, caught between Lord Willem of Winterfell and the drunken giant Harmond Umber.
Mm-hmm.
So,
damn.
Yeah. Some history there for us.
Yeah.
Then half the morning passes before Janos Slynt deigns to show up. And he's, like, got a lot of attitude. Like, in his posture, in his words, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love is that Jon decides this moment to be cleaning his sword. Like, it's very... it's given, like, evil apple eating. You know?
That's
like
a
how
good
the villains will be eating
comparison,
an apple when they're threatening you.
Yeah. He really... Yeah. And, you know, he was waiting. He was waiting for something.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you my things. No, actually, I'm gonna wait. But I disagree. But not because of any, like, particular reason, just, like, because of feelings. Like, I just like... okay, it doesn't matter.
Wait, so wait, what do
like,
you disagree
I think
with?
Jon was totally justified in this.
Oh, okay, no. But I'm saying I think he wanted to do it all along.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, I thought that's what you
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying that him doing it, his wanting to have done it, doesn't sully the fact that he had to do it, you know?
Yeah. See, my problem with it wasn't him doing it. It was the optics. Like, I would want to be, like, his manager right now, or, like, his agent, and be like, it looks like you just did this because he tried to be against you, and now he's not listening to you, and that comes off badly for you. Like, I feel like during that moment of, like, you're about to kill him, do you have any final words? I feel like I would also, because everyone's watching, right? I feel like the thing that I would have changed would have announced every single way that he was, like, betraying the watch, and, like, he's, like, even after I was, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like you just need to let your people who already are kind of feeling isolated
more
from
communication.
Like, just be more open about what's going on. Like, I don't think it's wrong that he wanted
I do agree with
him.
that.
I just hate the way that it's gonna come off for him, especially after Melisandre just warned him in the last chapter that even his friends are gonna turn against him. Like, dude, you gotta be more. And at the beginning of this chapter, he's like, oh yeah, you know, like how I had my dinner all alone last night. I'm like, you are not eating up the optics of you as Lord Commander. Like, you're just not doing it well.
Okay. That I agree with. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to this. So, in this moment, he's sitting there cleaning his sword, and Janos Slynt, he's like, first of all, he always calls him Lord Janos. And he's like, I'm giving you command of Greyguard. And Slynt is like, yeah, no thank you. And Jon's thinking, like, he's like, yeah, the hard work will be hard and brutal. You'll sleep on stone, too exhausted to complain or plot. Like, there's, like, strategy behind this, not beyond just, like, wanting revenge on him, you know?
Yeah.
And Janos is like, no thanks. Not even no thanks, just no, fuck you. I will not go die in some cold hole. And Jon's like, well, you mistake me. That was a command, not an offer.
Okay, hot.
Which, yeah, exactly.
And, oh my god, you agree?
I do agree.
Yay!
Jon's the hottest in this chapter for me of this entire series.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wait, really? Wait, that's kind of disappointing, because then what's he doing the rest of the book?
I don't
This is
care,
his
but
peak.
like there's some things just hit different, okay?
Okay, fine. I think it's also the part of you that wants the justice and the fact that he was able to kill Slint. Like, if in the next few chapters he's, like, fighting the others really well, it just doesn't hit that much because they're not, like, slimy little Slint, you know?
Right. Yes. So yeah, Janos just like storms out like, I will not go meekly off and die, freeze and die, yada yada yada. You're a traitorous bastard. I have friends. I was Lord of Harrenhal. Like he's doing all his things
on the other side.
Yeah. So John's like, think about it. You're leaving tomorrow. And Slint's like, I will not. And John's like, you will.
Dude.
And John's just like, well, hopefully he'll come to his senses by the morning. And he does not. Dude. So he finds him in the common room laughing and eating with his buddy Alistair and all of them. And like the whole hall is packed. There's Kingsmen, Queensmen, Night's Watchmen, like all the people are there. Mm-hmm. And when John comes in, everybody like quiets down. And he's like, so Janos, I will give you one last chance. Put down that spoon and get to the stables. You're going to Greyguard. And Slint is like, well, yeah, have fun with that ride. I'm not going. And here's where I would argue that John is clear. He's like, you are disobeying my order. Like, he asks that specifically. Mm-hmm. And Slint says, you can stick your order up your bastard's arse. Clearly defying him and, like, going against all the laws of the Watch, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, this is all happening in public. Mm-hmm. I agree that John should have really outlined it and drilled it in, but, like, he does do it. Just like, not as much as he could have.
But, like, he could have really made an example. And, like, in a way that's, like, unrefutable.
Right.
But he just kind of did it.
Yeah.
He didn't take the opportunity where it was there, you know?
Yeah, but there's also, like, you know, the power of silence or like fewer words, more impact kind of thing.
Yeah, but if everyone's against you and you really need your men on your side, I feel like it's more important to have them on your side than to be like, look how you like. I don't think that fear is the right way to like. That's giving Tywin, you know, not in a good way.
It's not fear. It's like, I am your commander. Like, you can't treat me like a kid.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, but I don't think that not being specific has to be part of that.
Sure. All right, so he's like, okay.
Like, I just think if I was, like, really worried about everyone around me not being on my side and wanting to betray me.
Clearly, he's not as worried as he should be. He's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I agree. More communication, John. More communication.
Because, like, sure, it would be, like, you know, with Mormont, like, he never had to, because he had those years, you know, and, like, people already respected him, so he didn't need to, like, bend at anything, you know? But, like, I feel like at least in the beginning, like, sure, they shouldn't treat you like a boy and all that, but you gotta give just a little bit when it's right, you know? And I feel like explaining yourself is when it's like in something like this is when it's right, where it's like an opportunity. It's not for as you to get
fun.
Yeah, but like,
see, all of my arguments against this are not rational. They're just feeling based, and I like not that feelings are irrational, but just like it's like just cause I want it to be like
but he could have think about it. He could have made like a big like sweeping monologue, you know, like this could have still been epic even if he explained it to himself. It would just be a different, like, it wouldn't be like a silent killer epic, you know, like it'd be different.
Sure. Okay. Well, he says to Janos, as you will, and then he turns to Iron Emmett and is like, please take Lord Janos to the wall and confine him to an ice cell, he might have said. And tie him to his horse, he might have said. But both of these options, the moment he's, like, free, he would have started plotting again. So instead he says, and hang him.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this is when Janos Slint's face goes white, and he's like, what? You won't dare. Like, he doesn't even get to the dare. It's when Sir Alistair, like, reaches for his sword you know, presumably to defend Janos. And Jon's like, oh yeah, go ahead. Give me a reason to fight you, because I want to.
I kind of wanted that to happen. I'm not going to lie.
And everybody's like, you know, you can hear a pin drop, and it's just silence. Everybody's watching to see what will happen. Dude. For a moment, the world balanced on a sword's edge. And then Alistair Thorne took his hand from his sword and stepped aside to let Ed tell it pass. Like, Alistair makes his choice now.
Yeah.
And...
oh, I wish he'd been more stupid. I wish he'd done it, and then we would have gotten 2 in one go.
Well, this shows that, like, he's got some sense, you know?
Well, we already knew that. He's an asshole, but he's not stupid like Slint. Like...
right. So, they drag Janos out to the wall, and everybody follows them outside, and, like, Val's looking, and Stannis is watching, and just, you know, all eyes on this happening here.
Dude.
And Janos is like, I'm not afraid of you. You won't dare hang me. I have important friends. You'll see. And this is when Jon tells them to stop. I will not hang him. Bring him here. And then he Janos is like, oh, he feels he's got this smug smile. Like, of course he can't. He doesn't dare to. Until Jon said, Ed, fetch me a block. Hottest line Jon Snow ever says. Period.
And fetch me a block?
Yes.
Dude. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Because, you know, it's also bringing back the Ned teaching, like, if you dole out the punishment, you gotta, like, go through with it yourself and all of that.
Absolutely. Rip Ned.
And, yeah. By the time a suitable chopping block was found, Lord Janos had retreated into the winch cage, and they have to drag him out, and he's like, no, you can't do this. When Tywin hears of this, you will all rue the day.
When the dead man hears of this.
Yeah.
You know, I do wonder how this would have gone if they had already gotten the news of Tywin.
Right.
Like, I don't know
he might have been
Janos
like,
would've...
yeah, I don't have the friends I thought I do, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, but he also might have been just as egotistical and been like, no, he must have told Cersei before he died. Like, you know what I mean? He might have been delusional about it. Yeah. I don't know.
And then they bend him over the block, and Jon's like, stretch out your neck, my lord. Just he's the my lord. Like, he continues that to the end. If you have any last words, now's the time to speak them. And this is when finally Janos is like, oh, please, I promise I will go. And no, thought Jon, you closed that door. Longclaw descended. Okay. Before we continue, let me read you a passage from Sansa's last chapter in A Game of Thrones.
Oh, the fighting in a castle of winter thing?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
A Game of Thrones.
Oh, I wasn't thinking. Sorry. I thought you said Feast for Crows.
This is when, so Joffrey is king, you know, and this is like, he's hosting like an audience, he's hearing out petitions, and he's just like punishing people left and right for no reason. Okay, so that's the setting. Frog-faced Lord Slint sat at the end of the council table wearing a black velvet doublet and a shiny cloth of gold cape, nodding with approval every time the king pronounced a sentence. Sansa stared hard at his ugly face, remembering how he had thrown down her father for Sir Ilyn to behead, wishing she could hurt him, wishing that some hero would throw him down and cut off his head. So it's kind of like Sansa's wish fulfilled, you know?
That's so cute. Oh my god.
It's so cute. Cute is not the term I would use here.
No, it is cute, because it's like, this is the closest we're gonna get to revenge for Ned's death. Because, like, Joffrey be dead, you know?
Yeah. Like, they've all been wishing, you know, we all want the bad people to die. But this is, like, so specifically, like, throw him down and cut off his neck. Like, exactly what happens, you know?
Oh my god. I love that.
Yeah. So 5 books in the making, this moment has been, I guess.
That's funny. And
yeah, I wonder if George R. R. Martin was at all thinking that Jon might do this one day, you know?
Right, while writing that. Or maybe writing that led to him
Prompted
being like,
him to think
wouldn't it
this,
be interesting if... Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah. So, and then immediately after, can I have his boots? Like, so they're just like, it's right down to business. And then Jon looks up and sees Stannis. For an instant, their eyes met. Then the king nodded and went back inside his tower. So Stannis seems to approve.
You know what's so funny about that, too? Is Stannis was the one threatening him with Janos's threats last chapter. But I don't know. You know what's so funny? When he nodded, it was very like father figure approves. And it was it was very calming.
Is Stannis Jon's new father figure?
I think so. I think like it's like, you know, there's the thing of like Grumpy and Sunshine, like people like those pairings like romantically. But this is like Grumpy and Grumpy, and it's like family dynamics. Like it's like Grumpy and then like depressed. Like
yeah, I was gonna say like Grumpy and emo.
Yeah, and it's just like it's like the like unwilling found family, you know? Like neither of them wanted each other, and they still kind of hate each other's guts, but like do be looking to him for approval and do be approving, you know? Like
right. Yeah. Okay, so you have concerns about the optics of this.
Yes.
I'm just, you know, basking in the feelings of it.
Yeah, I do love this good time. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was tired of looking at that guy's face.
Yeah,
you know?
he was really annoying. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because, like, I'm realizing now, the Starks are very, like, you know, the Starks have had good revenge moments. Like, Catelyn killing the Freys.
Yeah, but just any random phrase, not, like, until she kills, like, the Walder Frey.
Ooh. Ugh, I wish we could have seen that. Sad. Yeah.
Maybe there will be a Walder Frey POE in this.
Stop. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Actually, I do really
It'll
want
all
that.
be like the other, just one of the kids. Like,
yeah, literally. It'll
like,
be like,
go fetch me Walder. Which Walder? The one I want. Like,
and that would be, yeah, honestly, you could probably write like a comic book about Walder Frey's, you know?
Walders.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
Okay, so you're concerned about the optics. How do you think everybody's going to perceive this? Like, they're not going to be like, okay, Jon's not somebody to mess with. They're going to be more like, he's vindictive. Is that what you're thinking?
I think that, like, most people will be like, oh, okay, Lord Commander, and, like, you know, whatever. I think also a lot of people, or at least our people, don't really like Slint, so that's good. So they're going to be like, slay Jon, but also be like, yeah, don't mess with Jon, right? But don't mess with Jon. But I think that Alistair's people are ones to watch, because I think Alistair's gonna be like, see, that little bitch, who does he think he is, that bastard, you know? And then, like, maybe get some people, because even Jon, like, you know that moment of, like, the world hung in the balance for a moment, like, even in that moment, he's like, he thinks about, like, wait, hundreds of people voted for this guy, and, like, am I really doing this, you know? So,
right.
Like, I do think that it'll win him respect with a lot of people, but I also, I don't know, I think I just don't trust Alistair.
Who do you think Jon's gonna put in charge of Greyguard now?
Ooh, oh my god, he could put, like, maybe he'll put someone else that was part of the plot to kind of be, like, to kind of serve some of the same functions, like get rid of them, get them away from Alistair, sort of thing. Oh my god, could he put Alistair? How would that go?
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Because I think he might want someone because, like, you know how the other guy had, like, experience and stuff? That's why he was getting appointed. So maybe he'll want someone with experience there, too.
Sure.
Especially because he spends a lot of
Alistair's also had, like, 10, 15 years
but I
on
think,
the wall.
Yeah. But, like, maybe he has a special thing in mind for Alistair.
Right. Okay. Cool. I don't know if there's any other predictions here, so should we just move on to Tyrion?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's pick up the pace.
Yeah.
So, Tyrion wakes up. They have finally arrived at the end of this palanquin journey. And he wakes up to Illyrio outside talking to some people. And it's these two guys. One of them is called Halden, the Half-Maester. I'm just going to call him Half-Maester because in my brain, that's what he's called.
Okay.
It's just easier for me to remember because, like, Halden is a very
random
whatever name.
Yeah.
And then there's Duck, Sir Raleigh Duckfield, who gave himself the last name Duckfield because when he was knighted, he looked up and there were ducks in the field.
I love that. It's giving Dunk the Tall. It's giving Sir Duncan the Tall.
Exactly. And this guy is also tall, so definitely reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
And so Illyrio's talking and just like, oh, here's all the stuff, and, you know, we brought mules, but they're like, no, we got pack horses. Mules are too slow. And Illyrio seems really, like, fond of this kid. He's, like, asking after his health, and he's like, I brought him some candy. Like,
oh my god.
And I'm sorry that I won't be there for his wedding, he says. Who is this kid marrying?
I don't know. Okay, wait, when he said the wedding... Oh, I got confused. Okay. I thought,
I don't know.
I thought the wedding thing was, like, the Quentin plan or something.
Didn't he say, like, oh, tell the lad I'm sorry I won't be at his wedding? Didn't he say that?
Oh, he might have. Hold on. Well,
tell the boy I'm sorry that I will not be at him for his wedding. Like, that's the only boy among their party. I don't know if there's any other boys, you know?
That's true, yeah. I guess I'd just kind of forgotten about I just wasn't thinking about the boy.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he's like, I got you some candied ginger, which I just had some candied ginger a few days ago, and I was like, that shit's actually good.
Really? What does it taste like?
Candied ginger? Like, I don't know how to explain.
Not helpful.
Well, I'm not good at explaining flavors, okay?
It's
like dried ginger, but then it's covered in, like, sugar.
Mm-hmm. Does it kind of taste... Okay, I might have actually had it before.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, that's fine.
It tastes like sugar and ginger. Like,
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, he's, like, gotten him another gift. And there's a gift for the boy in one of the chests, some candied ginger. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and then he's like, oh, you know, maybe I should come along with you and we'll like have like a little farewell feast. And they're like, no, dude, we don't got time for that.
Oh my god.
And because they're worried about the Dothraki, like, surrounding this area. So there's, like, these two calls, Motho and Zico, who are coming this way. But what's happening is that they're actually running from Kalpono. You won't remember, but Kalpono is the guy that took over Drogo's castle.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
I was like, is this the guy? Because that's the only other Khal guy I know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the last they heard that Pono was near the headwaters of the Selhoru,
and he
with
must
the Khalasar
remember
of
Dany,
30,000. Right? Sorry?
He must remember Dany, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think he was one of Drogo's blood riders.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he was like, Drogo's dead. I'm Khal now. You go die.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah. And he took all the riders and left, and, like, Dany was left with just, like, her people and anybody who couldn't travel with that guy.
Dude.
Yeah, and then she had dragons, so then it was cool.
Yeah.
So the Half-Maester and Duck introduce themselves, and they're like, and Illyrio is like, this here is YOLO. Apparently it's a Pentoshi name, and Tyrion's like, I'm very clearly not Pentoshi. So he then says, well, in Pentos I'm YOLO, but otherwise I'm Hugor Hill. And this is clearly like a historical reference, like in-world historical reference that Halden the Half-Maester gets, because he's maestery.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because like they introduce, like, nobody else is around here, but they don't introduce him as Tyrion. But Tyrion, like, isn't trying super hard to hide his identity. He's like, look at how learned I am, and look, let me joke about Cersei,
literally,
the queen from Lannister,
in like the most casual way too. Not even like, this boy is acting dumb. Like, what?
Yeah. And we know at the end, like, Griff knows that he's Tyrion. I'm assuming these people also know he's Tyrion, but are they supposed to know he's Tyrion, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. They're, like, talking about dragons and, like, how this guy slayed servant of the Mirror Shield, slayed Urax, the dragon, by, like, having a shiny shield. Like, this whole thing. And then they're debating, like, who pulled the same move during the Dance of Dragons and all of that.
This was really cute. I'm glad that he's found a fellow nerd, you know? Like, maybe they can, you know? Because he's never really had this.
Yeah. And they're just like, what are we gonna do with this guy? Like, and Tyrion's like, well, I guess I'm coming with you to serve your queen, so you better take me along. And they get on. Tyrion is riding with Duck, and they ride off, and Illyrio's like, tell good fortune, Illyrio called after them, tell the boy I'm sorry that I will be not with him for his wedding. I will rejoin you in Westeros. That I swear by my sweet Sarah's hands.
Yeah, I don't hate
the hands, the mummified hands that he keeps in his room.
Yeah,
as a reminder.
Weird man. But okay, what is the relation between him and Griff's kid? Like, why
I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe he reminds him of his younger self. He's like, back when I was 16 and like the talk of the town.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe he grew up around him and, you know, you grow fond of kids around you.
What if it's his kid? He gave him away.
Okay. Hang on. Explain.
I'm just trying to come up with something wild.
So, like, young Griff, the lad, the boy,
is Illyrio's
kid and not Griff's kid?
No, but they look so alike. That wouldn't make sense.
Do they look alike?
I thought they did. I thought I remembered a description of both of them.
I don't know if we get enough of an...
Okay.
There is a description. Well, they both have dark blue dyed hair, but that's not like really a thing you're born with.
Yeah, maybe I was just confused. Okay, I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with something wild, because why is he so attached to this guy? Oh my god, is Griff his son? So then he's his grandchild?
I think Griff might be too old to be Illyrio's kid. Like, Illyrio's old. I don't know if he's that old.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Illyrio's not like... what's the maester guy at Pycelle? He ain't no Pycelle. Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm just like trying to think, like, there's gotta be something there. I just have no idea what.
Yeah. Anyway, but he's clearly fond of this kid and is like, oh, I'm sad I don't get to see him.
Yeah.
So then they ride off and they're like, oh, I wonder what the Pirates of the Dagger Lake will make of you. And they're talking about this Uro the Unwashed whose stench alone is enough to kill a man.
Dude.
This reminded me, just sometimes on public transit, you
you smell scents that could kill a man.
Honestly, with asthma, sometimes people be like layering on the perfume so much that I can't breathe. So like, I think I've talked about this before. I always recently it's been okay. Other than the fact that like there's so much smoke in our air that I can't breathe anyway.
Yeah.
But I always find myself on the bus, like either sitting by somebody who's got so much perfume on that I can't like breathe because of the perfume, or like it's just super hot and they're sweaty and like we're all sweaty and that's fine, but like it's a very like strong smell, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would sometimes take that over the perfume because the perfume triggers my asthma, whereas the other is just like uncomfortable, you know?
Damn.
Anyway, so this guy can kill you with his smell alone.
Oh my god.
Then there's Cora the Cruel, who has a ship crewed by beautiful young maids who gild every man they capture, which is...
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. And then Tyrion's like, well, if that happens, I'll just slip into a skirt and say that I'm Cersei, the famous bearded beauty of King's Landing.
Tyrion, stop trying to reveal your identity. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
he's clearly definitely trying to do that. Yeah. And then they're talking about, oh, well, maybe the Shrouded Lord will get you, and that's grayscale. I don't think the Shrouded Lord is like actually a thing. I think it's just what they call like the grayscale disease. Mm-hmm. And even Tyrion is like, I mean, I'm not scared of death anymore, but grayscale is a whole other thing.
Yeah, I want it.
Yeah. And then Duck, like, starts telling his own life story. He was the son of an armorer at Bitterbridge, and the Lord had this son who was, like, you know, super spoiled. And when Duck got a sword that his dad made for him, the kid stole it and was like, this is mine, you don't deserve it, yada yada yada. And Duck got mad and beat the kid with a hammer until both his arms and half his ribs were broken.
Dude, does
not bode well. Like, don't love that kind of temperament, you know?
Yeah, that is kind of...
After having just cheered Jon for chopping off Janos Slynt's head, I say this, but still.
Yeah. Hope he's got that sorted out.
Yeah, so then he had to flee, obviously. Yeah. And he goes across the sea, joins the Golden Company, is a smith for a few years, and then Harry Strickland takes him on as a squire. I don't know if you remember, but from Feast we learned that Harry Strickland is like either in charge or one of the people in charge of the Golden Company.
Ooh, okay.
So he took him on as a squire, and then apparently Griff needed somebody to teach his son how to fight, and then that's how Duck ended up doing that. So clearly, like, they have like a relationship with the Golden Company where they're like, yeah, we'll send you a man to teach your kid, like,
oh my god,
no problem. And then Griff knighted him a year later, and yeah, that's his life story basically. And then so they stop at like, it's like sunset, it's nightfall, and then they stop for dinner. They find this like little kind of ruined cottage manse area thing. They feed the horses, and they're just hanging around chatting. And Tyrion's like, what do you have in those chests? Like, I thought it was gold at first, but then like you just picked them up as if it were nothing, so it can't be gold. And apparently it's armor and clothing so that they all look nice when they go meet Daenerys, which is like actually good thinking.
Cute.
Yeah. And then they're back on their ride, like after dinner they get back on the horses and are riding again. And Tyrion is just like in awe of these Valyrian roads.
Yeah, he's like, they are wonders of the world, like they were said.
So this is when we learn about Lammas Longstrider, who was a scribe that like traveled the world and wrote the books called Wonders and Wonders Made by Man. It's very much giving Seven Wonders of the World, you know?
Yes.
Apparently there are 7 wonders that gods made and mortal man made 9, and the roads are one of them.
Dude.
Like, I know some of them. Like, the wall is one of the man-made ones.
Ooh.
I think maybe the pyramids in Marine might be one of them. Oh, the Bravos
Oh, the guy.
um
Yeah.
we all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Bravos guy.
Yeah, oh my god, why can't I think of the word? Bravos. I'm gonna look this up. What is it called?
I don't remember. I just remember the photo you sent me of it.
The Titan of Bravos.
Oh.
I forgot the word Titan. Like, I just couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's cool. I like this book idea. Like, I want to read it. I actually want to read this.
Yeah.
I think the book that's A World of Ice and Fire that's partially written by George R. R. Martin does name all of them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why is it partially written by George R. R. Martin? The show people are part of it?
No.
Then who? Literally who?
It's the people who started the website, the Wiki of Ice and Fire. So they've been like gathering all the Song of Ice and Fire knowledge.
Right.
And then they became really like prominent in the world and like in Song of Ice and Fire fandom. But there's some really problematic people.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So there's like a section that's like written all by George R. R. Martin, and then the rest is like written by them but with like information from him or like confirmations from him.
Are they... So there's stuff that's like implied or headcanoned, like
it's considered canon technically
because it has his stamp of approval.
Yeah.
But like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I see the part that's written by him is basically what then later became Blood and Fire and Blood, like the book Fire and Blood.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I take as super canon, and the other I'm like, okay. I mean, like, for things like if I want to know the 7 wonders, then I'll take that information, because it doesn't really matter for
you can't really interpret reason. That
but if the book says like, Dunk killed Aegon, like I don't know, I'm gonna be like, okay, we'll see.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What did they like? They're just bad people, like
yeah, like there's like all sorts of racist ideals in there, and like weird patriarchal things. Yeah, just not super cool things.
Okay. Damn.
It's unfortunate.
So they read everything and super obsessed over it and then missed the point?
Yeah. Like, George R. R. Martin kind of acknowledges them as his official knowledge keepers. Like, if he's like, oh, what was the gender of this horse? Like, they're the people he goes to confirm.
Right. Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, we got off on a way tangent. But so, they're on the horse. They're going. And Tyrion's remembering reading this book and being, like, super into it. And how his uncle would, like, have him recite all the things. And how he loved doing that. And he'd wanted to travel the world and, like, go see all these wonders. But Tywin put an end to that. Because, so, when he turned 16, he wanted to go travel the world, as his uncles had done at the same age.
Mm-hmm.
But Tywin was like, well, my brothers can be relied upon not to bring shame upon House Lannister, but you can't, so you don't get to go.
Tywin,
instead, I'm going to put you in charge of all the plumbing in the castle, which Tyrion's like, I hate him, but it's also... I hate him for that, but also I was so good at that job. Like, the drains never drained half so well as when he was in charge of them.
Dude, oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess Tyrion really shines when it comes to bathroom matters.
Yeah. And so they're riding like all night, and Tyrion is like falling asleep in the saddle, and he like keeps sliding off, but Duck just like pulls him on just every time, and he's like sliding in and out of sleep, and it just doesn't sound like a super comfortable journey, and it really isn't, because he doesn't have like the saddle he designed for himself, and it's just uncomfortable. And then they finally get to Goyandro. Don't know how to say it, but I'm gonna say it like that. And it's like a city that used to be a much bigger deal, but then dragons burned it down at some point. And now only a few people live, and it's mostly like marshlands.
Prediction?
Kind of.
Foreshadowing? Or not prediction, wrong word. Foreshadowing?
Yeah. And they're like, they ride up to the river, and they get to the boat, and there's the kid, there's young Griff, like he's got like this dark blue hair, and he's shouting at them to come and be like, hey, there you are. And Tyrion puts his age at around 15 or 16. I don't think, did we hear whether he was 15 or 16? Like,
I don't remember, bro.
Yeah, he's somewhere around there. And there's like an older couple on the boat who work there. There's a septa, and obviously there's the half maester and Duck, and then Griff. I think that is the entirety of that situation there.
Right.
And Griff is displeased at seeing Tyrion. He's like, what the hell is this? He's got the dark blue hair as well, but he's got red roots and redder eyebrows.
Oh my god.
I don't think Tyrion says if like the kids' roots are poking out, so I don't know if we can compare their hair color, And Tyrion like teases the kid and is like, oh, if you were in Westeros, the kids would throw stones at you for your blue hair. And the kid's like, my mom was Tyroshi. I dye my hair in her memory.
This poor kid. Oh.
Yeah. And Griff is just like, super rude. What is this creature? He says.
Yeah.
And Illyrio has apparently written him a letter to explain. And so he takes the letter and he takes Tyrion to his cabin, and they're sitting there, facing off. And he's got these pale blue eyes that Tyrion doesn't like because they remind him of Tywin's pale green eyes.
Oh my god.
And he's watching him read, and he's like, well, it means something that he can read, first off, to begin with. So, Tyrion clearly has, like, a person in mind, at least by the end of this. Like, he's like, who do you think
I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
Because, what?
So do you think it's a lord or a knight or something?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think they're a lord and a knight. But, I don't know who the hell this is.
All right.
I'm assuming someone from Westeros.
Yes. Yeah, and then we know that. Yeah. That has been confirmed. It's a Westerosi sellsword.
But, who are you? Who are you? The only Westerosi sellsword I know is Bronn, and he ain't here.
Right. Remember when you were like, this is Jorah?
Wait. No, there's no way.
No, this is not Jorah.
There's no way.
Jorah doesn't have red hair.
I know. Maybe he dyed it underneath.
Also, how would Jorah have collected all these people?
I don't know.
And, had a 15-year-old kid in that
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. When I was trying to think, I was like, oh my god, Edmure. And I was like, Edmure's not fucking here. Edmure doesn't have a fucking kid.
You're like, who has red hair?
Literally, I was like, okay.
Honestly, if you continue down that line, but think a little bit more obscure, you might land on something.
Melisandre?
No. I don't think you can. I don't think you will be able to.
Okay.
But potentially you could. If you had a listing of everybody and everybody's descriptions, you could potentially figure this out.
Do I know who? Have I Okay, have I met this person before?
You've heard of this person before.
Okay, so I haven't met them.
I can't say.
Okay. Okay, cool. Keep going. I'll try to think
doesn't
on
matter.
it.
So he reads the letter. Griff is like, okay, so did you really kill Tywin? And Tyrion's like, didn't you hear? I killed my mom too. And my nephew. And I'm gonna kill Cersei. And my brother. I'm just gonna
Oh my god, I know who this is!
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, what's his name? Give me 1 second.
Okay. That was such a dramatic...
The Blackfish!
Who also has a 15-year-old
Okay, it's
son.
fine. Maybe he has a secret son!
Okay, so the Blackfish did escape, but that happened at the end of Feast.
Oh, damn it.
We're at, like...
Oh,
we're,
wait,
like,
you're
behind.
right. This was like a year before. Oh, damn it. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Okay, continue. I'm gonna be a little bit distracted. Continue.
Yeah, so... yeah, he's basically like, yeah, I'm here to serve your queen. And Griff is like, why would she want you to serve her? You are a self-confessed kinslayer and betrayer. And Tyrion's like, yeah, but I only killed people that she hates, so really, I've done her more service than anybody else. And don't you worry, I won't kill you. You are no kin of mine. And then he tries to be like, can I read that letter? I do love to read about myself. And Griff is like, yeah, no. He burns the letter. And he's like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to support Daenerys? And Tyrion is like, well, for gold and glory, but really, I really hate Cersei. If you had ever met Cersei, you would understand. And Griff says, I understand well enough. And the way he says it, it's clear that he's also, like, stewed in hatred for years. So, does that bring you any closer to...
No, most of these characters have
honestly, I don't think
hate.
Yeah, like, it's been so peripheral, any information about this, that it's gonna be hard. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame you for not figuring this out. It's all good. You don't have to. Honestly, when we do, I think you're gonna be like, yeah, I would never have found that. Like, I didn't. So I think you would agree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyrion called him some sir, and he's like, I'm not a knight. And then Tyrion's like, yeah, you're a bad liar too. Duck says you knighted him, and he's like, Duck talks too much. And then he calls him my lord, and he's like, I'm not a lord either. And Tyrion's like, liar.
Liar, pants on fire.
And then he calls him my friend, and he's like, I'm not your friend either. And he's like, I'm pity.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so don't cause trouble, do what you're told, be useful, and you can stay with us. And if you are more trouble than you're worth, you can go your own way. And Tyrion's like, okay, Vallard thou hirest. Which means...
Oh, all men must serve.
Okay, yeah. I'm just checking your trivia, you know? Oh, we should do that. Oh, okay. Sorry.
What trivia do you want to do?
Future. No, I'm just looking to the future where you'll have all the knowledge, and then we could, like, freely do just all the Song of Ice and Fire trivia.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's so cute.
Yeah. And so they're going to find him a place to sleep. Ysilla is, I think, one of the people on the boat that he names. And then Tyrion is like, okay, this is Tyrion being Tyrion. Great. Okay, so what if we go find Daenerys and it turns out this dragon talk is all just drunken fancy? Like, the world is full of all these tales. Grumpkins and snarks, ghosts and ghouls, mermaids, rock goblins, winged horses, winged pigs, winged lions. And then Griff is just like, I warned you, you better guard your tongue or you'll lose it. this is not a game we're playing. And Tyrion's like, of course it is. The Game of Thrones. And then he says, as you say, Captain, and and then he bows out. Winged lions?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Is this someone's sigil? Some winged... Was there a lion who flew? Like...
It's okay. All right. So I won't get you to predict who this is, because you've already put a lot of energy towards that.
Okay, can I look at the Lannister appendix?
Sure.
Okay.
But the Lannisters don't have a winged lion.
Well, I don't know. That's all I can think of. Who else has a winged lion?
What creature is a winged lion?
Winged lion? I don't know.
Google
a griffin? Because griff?
Yeah.
Okay, who has a griffin as their thing?
That's the question.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like... Okay. Well, I knew that, but like...
Okay, so if we're looking for a griffin...
I don't know who has a griffin.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I don't know if like looking in Lannisters is gonna help you, is all I'm saying.
Sorry. Okay, right. That makes sense. I was like, I don't know what you're saying to me right now.
No, because you were like lions,
No, right,
Lannisters,
yeah.
and I'm like, not the same creature.
Okay. I hear you now. I hear you. I don't think I was registering.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to look, but...
Okay, cool. Keep going. I'm just looking at other families.
Well, that's the end of the chapter.
Oh.
So,
okay.
in terms of predictions, your prediction is that young Griff is actually Illyria's kid,
Yes.
and that's why he's so attached.
Yes.
Okay, but why would he like send his kid away to live with Griff and like be on a boat instead of in his like fancy mansion and everything?
I don't know. Maybe he's like, I can't raise him that well. Maybe Griff's got something on him. Maybe he chose his power and money over his child and now he regrets it, but it's too late.
All right. So now Tyrion's on this boat. They're gonna go down or up the river. Like, I don't know which way, but like they're gonna be traveling on the river to Volantis. How's that journey gonna go?
It's gonna be fine. But maybe the water will be really bad and it'll be a tough journey. And then everyone's getting mad and Tyrion has to like try and not get on anyone's bad side and get kicked off.
Okay. Nice. Will they make it to Volantis?
I think maybe they get intercepted before they make it to Volantis.
Intercepted by
like a different ship.
Like the pirates they were talking about.
Yeah, something like that. Or
Will
like
they die of the stench of the pirate?
I don't think so. I think it'll be more like swords and stuff. But I also think like, even if we get to Volantis, like, I don't. Wait. The Call Pogo guy. That's his name. Pono.
Pono, yeah.
Pono. Where were we worried about him being, like, near Volantis, or where they were before?
I think where they were before.
Okay.
Like, near Cohor or something. I don't even know.
Okay, cool. Because I was like...
honestly, I don't have a clear map of this area in my head, so...
Yeah. Because I was just thinking, could that be a problem? But if he was back there, then maybe we're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get away from the call. That's why they're like, we need to leave soon,
Okay. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, the map I'm trying to look at is so tiny, it's hard to tell the details.
Oh my god.
Okay. I think that's everything. There's like not a lot to... Oh, who's this kid marrying?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
There's a septa. Tyrion does say she was a handsome septa.
Whoa. I don't think he's marrying her. I think maybe he's marrying someone else from like the Golden Company or something, like someone's kid. something. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people
sealing
here.
Up them alliances kind of thing.
Yeah, because I just don't really know who else is here to get married.
Marry.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, let's move on to Davos.
Yeah.
So my man Davos.
You are a fan of Davos the way that I am a fan of Jon.
I love Davos. I can read his chapters over and over again and never get tired.
That's so cute.
He's just such like a solid person.
Yeah.
Like if I have Davos in my life, I don't have to worry, you know? He's taking care of shit.
Right.
And he's always got like the logical, like straightforward response and just he's the best qualities.
Cute.
Okay. So, he's tied up and he's being brought to this castle fort thing. And we don't quite know what it is yet, but eventually we find out that he's on one of the sisters. I think Sweet Sister. Mm-hmm. He was at Sisterton, the town on Sweet Sister, trying to find passage at one of the pubs. Mm-hmm. And that's where they caught him and were like, this guy's trouble. Let's take him to our lord. So they come in, and what is the name of this lord guy?
Godric
Borel.
Yeah. So
Godric is the lord of Sweet Sister. That's who he's being brought to, and the captain who's bringing him there is like, hey, we found this guy over there. He had like a bunch of money on him, and he also had this like seal. Mm-hmm. And it's, a ribbon bearing Stannis's seal, like the stag, and then the heart, and also his like hand of the king symbol. All of that, like making it official. And like it's not a very fancy castle. Like they're not living it up a lot. Until later when we hear about all the spices that they have somehow come upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so this guy has like webbed fingers, and like other people in his family also have this. Like this is like a trait of on the sisters. Like that's cool. Like these people are so of the island of the ocean that they've literally got like webbed fingers and toes.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah, so he's like, oh.
Don't the Cranegmen also have that? Or am I imagining that? Didn't they also have like webbed something? Because they're so well adapted to the marshes and stuff. But they don't actually.
That they do, but I don't think Miro or Georgian's hands are webbed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things people like derogatory things people say like they're more beast than human or kind of like that thing.
Okay.
So the Lord asks them to show his hands to like confirm his identity, and it's like he's got them cut off fingers, so obviously like. It's easy to fake a seal, but it's hard to fake cut off fingers. So you're the Onion Knight, and Davos is like, that and the hand of the king and all of that, all this stuff now.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of back and forth, like not anything specifically of substance, just like, oh, you work for Stannis. Well, Stannis is only a king if like Tommen dies, or like all of those things. Like Stannis is only a king if Heath says he's a king, he's not really a king.
Yeah.
How did you end up here? And all this time, Davos. So how has Davos end up here? Let's summarize. So he left Eastwatch with Salador San, and on the way they encountered some unfortunate mishaps. A couple of their galleys got driven onto the rocks of Skagos, the Isle of Unicorns and Cannibals.
Dude.
Others sank in the storms, and just like from 29 ships, only half of them remain. And if that, like.
Yeah.
And like also the fleet is all scattered all over the Narrow Sea, and Salador is unhappy. So they had good winds going north because apparently, Melisandre burning Florent got them good winds.
Yeah.
But going down, they had some bad luck. And also, Salador San is really mad because he still hasn't been paid. Like,
dude,
what's the point of doing all this work and losing galleys without having any gold?
Yeah.
And he basically has had it. And Davos tried to like pacify it and be like, okay, listen, you've already thrown in with Stannis, and the only way you're going to get your gold is if you stay with him.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Tommen's not going to reward you even if Stannis like is defeated.
Yeah.
So your best bet is Stannis, but he is not feeling it. He's like, I'm going home. Like, people want to go home. We want to see our families. This is too much.
Yeah.
And you can come with us if you want. We can go, pirate our way through the stepstones and stuff. But Davos is, of course, like, Stannis sent me on a mission. I have to do this. I have to go to White Harbor. So Salador San then just puts him off on a boat near Sisterton and is like, find your way.
Yeah.
At least he gets close enough to Sisterton that they can see the lighthouse. So, their friendship is worth something, he says. Yeah. So when Lord Godric asks Davos about this, he's like, how did you get here? And if you were going to White Harbor, Davos is like, yeah, storms. And the way this guy says storms back, Lord Godric said the word as fondly as another man might say his lover's name.
Dude.
And we find out that storms are basically how they make their living, because all these ships crash on the sisters, and that's how they get their goods. And sometimes they help a few ships crash on the sisters to get the goods,
This is so
you
disturbing.
You do what you gotta do.
This is so disturbing, dude.
Yeah, so the sisters are technically part of the Vale and sworn to the Aarons, but they're so far away that it's a tenuous grasp, he says, that they have on the sisters. But they do, so all the sisters, the lord of all of the sisters is Tristan Sunderland, and then each of the three sisters has their own lord. And then this guy is the Lord of Sweet Sister. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a lot of hierarchy things here.
Oh my god.
So Davos is like, oh my god, I'm here. This is not where I need to be. And also he can very easily chop off my head and get a reward from Cersei.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find what would be the best way here, and he's like, oh, you know what, really, you should send me to Lady Arryn, because he's hoping Lysa's from Riverrun and to the Starks, maybe she'll hate the Lannisters enough to really help him, or not kill him at least.
Yeah.
So he's trying to go for that, but this is where he learns that Lysa's dead and Littlefinger's in charge of the Vale.
Dude, oh my god.
Yeah. And he asks, Godric asks about what happened to Salador San's fleet, and Davos can't just be like, oh yeah, he abandoned us, we have no more fleet. Yeah. He's tired of our bullshit. So instead he's concocted this lie, which is to be like, oh yeah, Stannis totally ordered him to go down south and trouble the Lannisters and their friends.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he's up to.
Yeah. Sooner or late, the world would learn that Salador San had abandoned Stannis Baratheon, leaving him without a fleet, but they would not hear it from the lips of Davos Seaworth.
Okay, Davos.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, he gave me a boat to come over here, and I just wanted to, all I wanted is passage to White Harbor. I don't want to trouble you guys. I don't want to trouble no one. And Godric is wondering, I wonder if I should ransom you off to Stannis. Would he pay me for this? And even Davos is like, would he pay you for this?
Does he have the money to pay you for this?
Exactly. And he says, well, if you want to check, you can write him a letter over at Castle Black, because that's where he's at.
Oh my god.
And this is where Godric is like, oh, is that where Tyrion is as well? And Davos is shocked to hear this because he's like, I thought Tyrion was going to die for the murder of his nephew. And he learns, no, in fact, Tyrion killed his dad and is now on the run.
Oh my god.
And Davos is very excited to hear this news because Tywin being dead changes everything for Stannis and is like a big advantage. So he's like, can I just really quickly write a letter to Stannis?
Yeah.
And Godric is like, no. Stannis can find out on his own.
Oh my
It's not gonna
God.
be
Please.
from me or you.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, first off, just sit down, have some food.
But when he's saying, like, Stannis isn't gonna find out from me, he's like, I'm done participating in these things. We were already dragged into the Blackfire Rebellions.
Yes.
Which I'm like, could you be dragged in again with the same people?
The Blackfire Rebellion? Like with the Golden Company, you mean?
I don't know. Maybe all the gifts he's getting aren't just shipwrecks.
You know what? Good point.
Maybe.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so finally he asked Davos to sit down, have some food, get dry, all of that. And Davos is very happy. He's like, okay, now I've had his, hospitality. Now I'm safe at least for this night. Which is just reinforces again how important the laws of hospitality and everything are, and the phrase just suck.
Oh my god. He tries to get him to marry his daughter. He's like, are you married?
Yeah, he's like, are you married? And Davos is like, oh yeah, totally. Not oh yeah, totally. Like, yes, I am. And the guy's like, oh, that's too bad. I've got this granddaughter who needs marrying, and she's such a good cook. She would make a perfect wife. Yeah. And I guess they don't get a lot of visitors, so anybody who comes along could be a potential suitor.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
So we get history, this is a lot of Davos's thoughts. So the people on the Sisters had been pirate kings, and they, would pirate in the area, but then the Starks subdued them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were forced to just doing what they do now, which is just sometimes shining lighthouses where they shouldn't be, so that ships get wrecked and then they get the food and whatever they're carrying.
And that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And Davos is like, okay, so let's get down to business. I need to get to White Harbor. Can you help me do that?
Kiwi, I have a question from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
At one, when he's trying to pitch his daughter off to Davos, he's like, she has the mark, all Borels for 5,000 years. What?
I think that's the webbing.
Oh, okay. I just was like, what's the mark?
Yeah, because he's staring at her webbed hands, and he's like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of silly.
That's okay.
Yeah, but also another thing that makes me think, because when he's like, do you want saffron? And Davos is like, I've literally had that once. What the fuck? He's like, yeah, it's from Karth. And then he's like, I also have black pepper from Volantis. So I'm like, it could align. These could be gifts, too.
Oh, so not just, they didn't just get this from, a trading galley. They were actually given these.
Yeah.
Have the Golden Company already been making connections in Westeros? And are they starting with the Sisters?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's true.
Interesting. Okay. That is an interesting thought.
Because I guess I'm just thinking,
see, I totally see the potential for them to join the Golden Company, in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I thought that they already had.
Okay. I just assumed, they've started courting, it's, the contract's broke, they've started courting, and I don't know, maybe they're, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they have
Yeah,
other people on their
it's
side
possible.
helping too.
I just personally like think things move a lot slower than
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
So
yeah, this was a year ago.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, he's talking about, yeah, I need to get to Manderley.
Mhm.
And I forgot, Godric is like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of going to be useless though. First off, he's like planning to marry into the Freys and like seal up alliances. So he's going to bend the knee, but not to Stannis.
Yeah.
And also, it's not like they're really Northmen. So we get like some Manderley history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've known this. I don't know if we've talked about this. It's sometimes the longer we go into this series, it's harder for me to tell what I know just because I know it or because we've covered it.
Right.
But the Manderleys used to be on the river Mandor, which is like in the south and on the Mander River. And they overreached themselves. And at that point, you know, I think it was the gardeners that were in the kings, you know, in the Reach, that sent them away, and they landed at White Harbor, and they had a bunch of gold and stuff, like they always been rich.
Mm-hmm.
So the Starks took their money but gave them land and, you know, let them keep their gods. So they're like the one northern house that worships the seven.
Right.
So there's like all this stuff there. That's cool history, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's palling it up with the Freys, apparently, even though the Freys killed one of his sons. So
oh my god.
Yeah. I guess it's like maybe cut your losses while you can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And House is like, okay, that sucks, because White Harbor is like really crucial.
Mm-hmm.
It's a port that stays unfrozen even in the depths of winter, and like that's like saying something. Winter in Westeros, like, you know. So it's a really important port of entry, but also they've got silver, so they got the money that Stannis desperately needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, oh, please, I really need to do this. Help me. And Godric's like, I don't know about that. 'Cause like all y'all people have been so high and mighty with the sisters. And back when Stannis was master of ships, he killed a bunch of our people for doing the thing we still do and threatened me if it continued and all of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so why should I help you? Tell me that. And Davos is like, going through all, like, you know, the usual reasons, like, because he's the rightful king, because he's strong and just, because he will defend the realm, and all of that. But also, he doesn't say any of this because he knows it won't convince the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he just stays quiet.
Yeah.
And this is when finally Davos is like, okay, here's the truth. Tywin is dead, so the Lannisters are weakened. And who is it that rules in King's Landing? Is it Sir Kevin? And then what? It's not. We all know this.
Yeah.
Godric says, if it were, you'd be in chains. It's the queen who rules. So Davos finally sees his, like, room to maneuver, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That Kevin is competent, but Cersei is an unknown factor. So this guy is uncertain about how things are going to go, and he doesn't want to be on the losing side.
Mm-hmm.
And before he can even, like, really start to, like, lay the foundation heavily, this guy himself kind of presents the plan to him, which is to say, you know, the Lannisters have a lot of power. Still, in this world, only winter is certain. Ned Stark told my father that here in this very hall. Now we get some interesting history, which is that during Robert's Rebellion, once Jon Arryn had declared against, like, you know, he was like, I'm fighting against you, Mad King Aerys. Ned Stark had to get back to the north to rally his troops, but Gulltown, which is the main harbor in the Vale, was still controlled by the Targaryens, so he had to go this roundabout way, and he ended up on the Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he was on like this boat with a fisherman who drowned, but his daughter got him to the Sisters. And they say he left her with a bag of silver and a bastard in her belly. Jon Snow, she named him after Aaron. Thoughts?
I mean, I certainly don't think this is true.
Okay. This is just one of those, like, you know, the people theorizing about it, and like this is the person that they were familiar with, so they're like, oh, one woman that Ned ever met, so she must be the mother.
I think so. I think it, yeah. Because especially, like, or wait, no, that was near the fingers. Yeah, I think this just feels like another one of, like, the, oh my god, like, it was the septa, it was, like, you know? It just feels like another one of the tales.
The septa?
Wasn't there a thing about, like, or no, the wet nurse, like, he was actually, like, Jon is actually the son of someone, like, from a highborn family's wet nurse or something?
Ned Dane says that they had the same they're milk brothers, because Ned Dane's wet nurse is apparently Jon's mother.
Yes, yeah.
According to Ned Dane. Yes, okay, sorry. That was, like, such a... the way you pulled that out, and I had to, like, really follow the crumbs and be like, oh, yes, that.
Thank you for making sense of it.
Yeah. So basically, back in the day, during the rebellion, Ned was found here, but he had to get north, and his dad had to decide what to do, and the Maester was, like, urging him to hand him over to Aerys, because they would be rewarded handsomely. But... this is what Ned is like, in this world, only winter is certain. We may lose our heads, it's true, but what if we prevail?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Godric's dad had said, if you lose, you were never here. But if you win, then obviously favor us, you know?
Yeah.
And he sends him on his way with his head on his shoulders.
Dude.
So, obviously Ned goes on, wins the war, all of that. So, I hope they got some benefits from it.
Yeah, literally. We don't know if they did, but... I hope so.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they're gonna do with Davos. So
yeah,
he's gonna send him on to White Harbor. So predictions, I guess. Like, is he gonna be sent to White Harbor? Will he get to White Harbor? What kind of reception? All of that?
Absolutely. I mean, he's gotta. Okay, so they're marrying a Frey, right? Like, he's marrying his daughter off to a Frey. Manderly is.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna get there. He's gonna be just as annoyed with the phrase as we
It's gonna be like in the wedding where they're like, does any man have any reason to object to this union? And Davos like runs in like, I object because I have a coup to stage. Like, I don't know.
Something like that, literally. Yeah, I think I think that he's gonna go. You know, the wedding does kind of complicate things for me, because the thing for me was that, like, he's gonna survive and they're just lying about having killed him, yada yada yada. But now with this whole wedding thing, how do you fake his killing with so many people around? Like, yeah. I didn't know that the Freys were also there, so now I'm kind of worried that he is gonna die.
I think we did know that the Freys were there, because Cersei gets letters from the Freys confirming this story.
Oh, and that's why it was... Oh, wait, I do remember that. But then I remember my prediction to evade that was just like, well, now the Freys have joined us too, because Cersei ain't shit, you know?
I don't remember that, but that is a wild prediction.
I think... Yeah, I don't know. I hope Davos doesn't die, but okay. So if Davos, like, are the Freys gonna kill him? Is Manderly gonna do it to try and prove his allegiance? Is it like blue wedding? Like new like, you know, we need a new one? Like, I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Okay.
Wait, I have written here, will Davos go back to find someone? Who, where? What was I don't know what I meant by that.
I don't know.
I don't know what I meant.
Go back where to find someone?
I don't know. I wish I'd written it down. Okay, wait. I just have, okay, will it work? Will Davos go back to find someone? Who, where? I mean, he must to then go die. I think they're also playing the long game. What am I talking about?
That sentence makes no sense. Like the who is he gonna find?
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Okay, I think, yeah, anyway, I don't really know where I was going with that, because I was trying to see if I had any more thoughts, but I don't know where I was going with that. I think, okay, he could... Yeah, okay, I guess my concern is, what's he gonna offer? Like, he doesn't have money to offer. I guess it's just like, look, Cersei's gonna do a bad job, come join Stannis, he's the rightful heir. Like, that's his argument that he's taking to them? Like, you know? Anyway, yeah, I think that it'll be looking like he's gonna be successful, but then the phrase pull something. I think that's the vibes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to next chapters then.
Yeah.
Cool. We're reading 2 chapters next time. Give me your hopes and predictions.
Let's do Jon and Dany.
That's exactly what we're reading next time.
Really? That's so funny.
We're reading chapters 10 and 11, Jon and Daenerys.
Oh my god, cute. So, this is like what I was hoping for the entire last book.
Yeah, you kept saying Jon and Dany, Jon and Dany. You're good. Yeah, your wish is going to be fulfilled many times this book. So.
Really? Oh my god. So they are the Ed and Catelyn of this book.
I guess.
Cute. Okay. I think that Jon, we're gonna find out how the reception to his actions goes. We'll figure out who he's gonna replace the person with. We might get some Pip Gren conflict. That would be fun.
Okay.
But not like fun, but fun. Yeah. Also, who... Yeah, maybe we'll find out about those Night's Watchmen who died. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more. Maybe more free folk will be coming back. I don't know. We'll see the vibes.
What about Daenerys?
Oh, yeah. Dany. Oh, yeah, her dragon killed someone. Okay, so we'll see how she's gonna deal with that. Maybe public opinion will be shifting and they'll be like, fuck Dany.
I mean, it's already a lot of fuck Dany, though. Like,
but
there's
like,
literally...
maybe even the people who are on her side are like, okay, wait, fuck Dany?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that girl and that dragon.
All right. Cool. Well, that's everything. Let's wrap up. Do you want to say the things this time? Why don't you say the things?
What's it called? The end card? Yeah.
No, it's called like the calls to action.
No, I'm thinking like YouTube video. Like the end.
Oh.
It's fine. Okay. I don't
Okay, sure.
But yes. Okay. You guys can email us at popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at popculturesymposium and join the Discord. The link is in the show notes. Until next time.
No, you don't get to do that.
You said do it.
No, I said the calls to action.
Okay, okay. It's just a transition phrase.
No, I can't undo. I can't end this episode. I just can't end the podcast without using my transition phase, okay?
Okay.
So until the next time we fight on air, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.